I guess going back to financial independence, which you mentioned earlier, there are people here who are probably entrepreneurs or thinking of starting businesses. If anyone here wants to start a business tomorrow, what things would you like to tell them? What 3 or 4 things would you like to tell them to do or to think about before they actually embark on that mission?
Why will my own idea be important? Most of them have gone through business schools by more qualified professors. So why would it? I mean, from practical perspective, I would tell you, I think the number one point is passion. Number one point is passion. Lack of passion can be fatal, and people can actually feel and touch the passion of the entrepreneur, especially the person that has the idea, the person that what we call the soul of the organization. If whoever is nursing the idea, that seed, that actually, because that person is the one that sees what most other people don't see. People will tell, most of the time you can be rest assured, if you want to start something and people tell you that, oh, it will work, it won't work. It is the one that almost 100% of the people are telling you that this will not work, that's the one that will work. That's the truth. Because if everybody is telling you that, oh, okay, that idea will work, that means every other person knows it. But when they tell you and say, look, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. There is no way. Who will patronize it? What would they? I mean, that's when. In fact, the more they say that, the more that you know that the clouds will break. So the lack of, I always believe that the lack of passion can be fatal for anybody that's getting into entrepreneurship. Passion is number one, and it should be infectious to all the people around the motivated person that is actually starting. Another thing that I've seen with young people is that they need to have deep knowledge, understanding of the business they want to get into. People don't, they get information, but they do not have comprehensive understanding and knowledge. You see, some other people have been in that business. What you're going to bring to it is a different perspective. But you should know everything that other people that have been there, you should know everything that they know. Whether they're cutting corners, because you are coming with something that probably they are doing, you need to do differently. So that knowledge is what is going to account for the number of years that those other people might have stayed in that business. You need to have that. You need to have that. So of course, people can tell you and say, okay, you can outsource that one to a consultant and things like that. But it's not as good as even if it's a consultant that has prepared it. You need to really get your hands dirty and really understand. Even if it's selling blocks or selling rice, you need to understand the entire market. You need to understand what shapes that market in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Otherwise, you'll be out. Before you get into it, you're out, which is one thing that's very common. I think also capital is important, but the capital that I'm talking about is not just in terms of the capital on the balance sheet. It's the liquid funds that you have available the first 18 months to 24 months. The mortality rate is extremely it's just too much. It's just scary for new businesses the first 24 months. And once you survive 18 months, 24 months, you are almost certain that if you know what you are doing and you don't get distracted by other things, you are almost certain that you get to the 50th year. But if there may be challenges if you do not have some kind of cushion that first few months. Because the first few months, that business that you think that will come may not come for the next 12 months. Especially for young people that are going to advisory consulting and things like that. They tend to believe, because they can see the value, what they want to add. They can see it very clearly, IT people and things like that. But they do not understand why I've sold you, that you need this particular, this is value added, that this is what is going to be better for your business. And you said, okay, you are going to get back to it. And for 3 months or 4 months, no single call. And they are calling and the person is not picking calls. And they just don't understand it. But that's when you know that you are welcome to the entrepreneurial world. One of the guys that I mentored, told me that well-trained guy, very aggressive, that he didn't want to send so many proposals out, because if they all start coming, he may not have I said you should multiply it by 5. That he may not have the capacity to deliver, because he was thinking that he was still in the comfort zone that he was before, that if he sends 5 proposals out, one will come back. That's a big mistake. especially at the starting point. You are not at Anderson, you are not KPMG. So let's get that straight. If young people are starting business, you need to survive the first 24 months. It's very key. So because they tend to get discouraged when the way they've planned it doesn't turn like that. And that's why I keep on telling them that, you see, the worst thing that people can do is actually to have a vision, to believe in it, and get discouraged and then get out of it. It's worse than the other guy that doesn't even have the vision at all. Because it could have been, and it could have been is what it will be. So they need to actually push that. And that's why I always tell them, if you can partner together with 2-3 different people that have complementary skills, and then that will also ensure that, even if, let's assume that for the first 12 months you are going to just be paying bills. That for the first 12 months, just worst case scenario, always look for that, especially at the starting point. That worst case, let's say that business is for whatever reason. Some people started business and then that was either in, imagine if you were to start business in Northeast and then the Boko Haram thing started. I mean, anything can happen. So, but it should not affect the determination that people have put into it and then what they want to share. But basically, apart from all the other things that you learned from the business school, the practical things that you need to know is the fact that you need to have some, make sure that if the first few months, even if it doesn't turn out, it doesn't mean the clouds will not break. Once you know that there is going to be value added in what you are doing, and you actually understand it very clearly, and you have identified people that need the services, and then you need to come and push, keep on pushing it.